Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everyone. During last fall's KCMA conference, we talked about pivot strategies for 2023, looking for ways in which we can improve sales and profitability. I know during the pandemic, it was hard to look at new items, new products, and any enhancements to the product line, as engineers were just concerned about keeping products going out the door. But we believe there's an opportunity here to improve sales and profitability by incorporating lighting in your design. During the pandemic, tremendous strides were made to improve lighting, the functional lighting, the ease of use. And so to talk about that today, we welcome Damiano Saracino. He's our lighting expert for Richelieu. He's an Italian native, having lived much of his career in the United States, having worked in kitchen manufacturing, design, and sales. So he brings a wealth of knowledge to the table, and he will be talking about lighting. So Damiano, take it away.
Thank you, Gary, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this very interesting webinar today. So as Gary introduced me, for coming, my name is Damiano Saracino. I'm the Director of Business Development at Richelieu Lighting. And we're going to see lighting in 2023 as it should be. Why as it should be? Why not? That would be my question in return. We're going to look at solution. We're going to look at a new lighting concept. We're going to look at a new lighting generation that is not coming. It's already here. It has been here already for a few years. So that as it should be simply means, you know, there might be solutions out there. There might be a line that we are not aware that could make our life incredibly easier. I'm not even calculating, not even 10 times speed, or 100 times, or 1,000 times. This is a complete different concept of lighting that will not scare us anymore. We won't be intimidated by lighting anymore. There won't be any need for electricians holding us hostages sometimes, and all the money that we would save in electrical jobs that we would not need anymore with this new program. We might be able to spend them in something to increase a little bit more the look, the functionality, the technology, the innovation, just like Gary was saying, to increase our sales and to increase our profits. Because remember, the only reason, the main reason, better said, for us on this call to use lighting in cabinets is to increase profitability, to increase the value, okay, into your cabinets. So the way that I started, that I thought about starting this webinar is showing you some of the trends that we find out there. Some of you, all of you probably know Richelieu is partnered with many cabinet associations. So we have we have a big pool of data we're taking our information, and this is what I was able to collect in the past few months, starting from December last year. And as you can see, new this year, this was at the very end of last year, the beginning of this year. We see for the first time layering lighting to address multiple needs. This is something that we at Richelieu have been talking about for a while. We were actually calling it levels, okay? So level 1, level 2, level 3, they were associated to different placement of the lights. Placement based also on functionality and on value. So level 1 would be where is the first place that we would put lights in a new kitchen? Obviously on the cabinet. So that's the first layer, first level of light. Then we have level 2. Well, I want to do something more. Well, then let's put some lights inside of our wall cabinet, maybe with some sensors. So when I open that door, the light turns on into the cabinet. What will be the next level? Well, let's move underneath. you can look at that picture, actually it worked out great. How many drawers we're starting having in our base cabinet? Oh, a lot more drawers cabinet that we had before. That's a new trend as well. Gives the kitchen a different design, a lot more linear. So why don't we put some lights into those drawers as well? Right? Why not? Okay. And then of course the ultimate level 4, Tokic lighting, crown lighting, you know, pantry lighting. At that point, we can really, whatever we can think of, okay? So let's keep in mind is layering, because it's important to also understand how lighting are growing in our business. Kitchen sustainability, this is something that, you know, I throw it in there, you know, 100% LED lighting, we're at 82%. No kidding, I would say. Thank God for that. For those who are still going with halogen lights or fluorescent lights, please give LED a chance for many reasons. So sustainability in the kitchen includes 100% LED lighting. Okay, I don't wish anyone to keep working with halogens right now for any reason. Way too hot. That was definitely one. Kitchen technology. So exciting kitchen technology. This was 3 years look ahead. Homeowners are excited about smart controls, mobile device, voice control, integrated lighting technology. So here they're talking about whole house LED lighting system controlled by an app, voice activated lighting appliances, which we don't really care right now. Control with a smartphone. Okay, so this is repetitive right now. So we're finding apps, voice controls, app, mobile, voice controls. Even here on the right, app, mobile, voice control at 23%. Okay, we also see something else coming out, charging power outlet at 12%. So that will be interesting to keep an eye on, because you guys will see, I'm showing you this for a reason. And we'll see the reason in a few minutes, but keep in mind all these trends, because there is already a solution for all of them. It's not something that our clients are looking for. Like, oh, I wish I had this solution. Well, guess what? It's already on the market. Okay, we just don't know. Prominent kitchen technology. Same thing. We're looking here, dedicated areas for mobile device and charging. 73%. That is a very, very high demand. And we're seeing, look at that, look at voice activated lighting controls at 42%. That's almost 1 out of 2 would like to have a voice activated lighting control. Well, I don't blame them. We're in 2023 after all, right? We talk to our phone every day. We talk to Alexa and Google Home every day. We talk to our cars. We're not talking to our lights. What is going up here under cabinet lights? That is encouraging for our business. So finally, in the United States, we see under cabinet lighting growing. You know, I will be happy when I see that at 100%, pretty much in line with Europe and most of Asia, Japan, and all the other. So under cabinet light is 73% higher, because if we see what the same trends were in 2022, we were at 65. So we see that going up. I expect that to be at least at 85%, I hope, by next year. But remember the layering or the levels that I was telling you before, as an example right there, interior cabinet lighting, level 2. Last year, it was at 23%. This year is up at 37%. I would really love to see that number by the end of this year or for next year to be at least 50%. Okay, so that is the direction that we're going. Dimmer switch and voice activated controls. I left this here because I wanted to show you how close is now the ratio of those who would like to have a dimmer switch or a wall dimmer switch that requires electricians, that requires wiring, that requires going behind the walls, okay? Compared to a voice activated control, there's only 8% over 30. So very, very close. I remember dimmer switches to be actually a little higher than that. But another thing to keep in mind, this thirst of having technology and innovation in our kitchens. So very important to understand here is the difference between 12 volts and 24 volts in terms of a system, in terms of a lighting system. So what is the difference between a lighting system in 12 volt and a lighting system in 24 volt? Well, first of all, 12 volt is what we have been using for many, many years. As a matter of fact, LEDs were born on a 12 volt. Consider very, very low voltage. And they did that because it was safe for everyone to use. You can touch 12 volt, nothing is going to happen, okay? But it's considered very low voltage up to 55 volts. That means that if we increase a little bit more the voltage, we're still using a very, very safe system. However, because of the reasons that I'm going to just tell you, it became the newest, best system on the market. 24 volt greatly is a much better system than the 12 volt. Let's see why. Well, first of all, what is the wattage? The wattage is, consider it has the pressure. I always use the example with water. So imagine water in a siphon, water in a pipe. Okay? So if we open the faucet on one end, we have a certain pressure that pushes the water a certain amount of, a certain distance from that faucet. What happens if we increase the water coming out of it? I open the faucet even more. I increase the pressure so the water goes further distances. This is exactly what happens when we're talking about electricity. Voltage is our pressure. So 12 volts worth of pressure from our power supply will go only 12, maybe 14 feet away. And then what's going to happen is what we call a voltage drop. The electricity doesn't go further to that point. So if we want to do, if we do want to go further, then we need another power supply and another strip and do another connection. Right? With 24 volt, we push this voltage drop twice as far. So now with only one power supply, we can go 26, 28 feet away from that power supply. We couldn't have done that before at a 12 volt system. Okay, so much longer applications. And don't consider it only, oh, I need to have a 30 feet long strip. No, it could be a further wall that we have to reach, adding extensions. So it might not be a continuous light, but maybe a single puck light that is 20, 25 feet away from the power supply, which is on another wall. That is also going to be very convenient. Many other reasons to explain why 24 volt is a much, much better program to use. More compact light source. You will see our lights now are down to 4 millimeters. That is super, super thin. Super, super thin is equivalent, it's synonymous of contemporary, of modern, okay, of elegant, of cleanless. Smaller cables and connectors. You'll see where we're able now to get connectors at the end of our cables that they are so thin that we already attach it to the cable. So we'll talk about the pure plug and play system. Lower voltage drop, we saw that. More choices of external control. We'll see now Wi-Fi and wireless operations. Okay, so at the end of the day, we have many, many more options. It is a much better product, the 24 volt. And let's remember also, it's a lot more efficient. We reduce completely, it's more efficient because it will last a lot longer. Now, this new generation of lights lasts 50,000 hours of operation. 50,000 hours, guys, is, if we're put in a different perspective, if you consider that the lights are on for only like 4-5 hours, we're talking about under cabinet lights. We're not talking about the kitchen light, just the cabinet lights. Maybe every day, we're talking about 25, 27 years of operation. These lights will last forever. Once they're on, there is no going back and fix them. There is no fixing these lights. Okay, we reduce completely the pixelation, which is that annoying dotting that we'll see through a diffuser or through the visor of the puck lights. No more pixelation, no more dot effect, because 24 volt also gave us the possibility of producing the diodes, little tiny lights that we find on a strip light or on a puck light. They are now 10 times smaller than what they were before, and they're 10 times more. So their light is a lot more diffuse, they're much smaller. So this is really the magic, the science behind the 24 volts. So please, if you have not considered 24 volt, do it. If you're still running on 12 volt system, you are missing out a much, much better lighting product. Let's go to a simplified lighting product. A couple of months ago, I was preparing a training for the Richelieu reps that I train around the United States, and I wanted to really describe the plug and play program that we're offering with our lights. And I went and found what the definition of plug and play is, and this is interesting. So the definition of plug and play, of a product that is considered plug and play, is a product that you could install without having any knowledge or have received any training on the installation of that product. It could be a lamp, since we're talking about lights. Get a lamp, put it on our table, plug it into power outlet. That will be a perfect example of plug and play product. Well, guess what? All our LED lights right now are exactly like that. They are the pure definition of plug and play. You will see that they're all pre-wired. So it doesn't matter if it's a strip light or a puck light or a hanging rod or any of the products, or a USB charger, any of the products that you'll see in this presentation and many more, they're already pre-wired. So there's nothing to attach. It's already attached from the manufacturer, okay? That is a synonym of warranty. That is a synonym of quality. That is equal saying things should not really happen. Anything bad should happen. On the other hand, of the cable that sticks out of the product, which are all 79-inch long. Weird number, but let's remember we're talking about Italian products here, okay? All these products are designed, engineered, produced in Italy. So we'll see a little different taste as well, different look. So 79 inches is the equivalent of 2 meters. So for them it's standard, for us is an odd number. 79 inches every cable, every wire there is attached to our products. And at the end of the 79-inch, we find that is called a micro 24 connector. What do you notice about this connector is the fact that it is the same diameter of the actual wire. So wherever the wire passes through, then so can the connector. And it is already attached. For that reason, many of us worked with systems before where the clip was disconnected. Why? Well, because it was probably too big, because we have to conceal these wires. They have to go in very tight spaces. If it was already connected with a connector that be as big as my finger, then it would have been hard to have that cable to pass. So what they do, well, they make their life easy. They give you a spliced wire with a bunch of clips, and then you have to go in and try to clip yourself or attach yourself, or okay, wouldn't be much easier if that clip is already on. It's a SKU less that you have to purchase, is a few extra minutes that you avoid in terms of labor. And guess what? I think we'll have a lot less chances something bad would have happened. What if you invert the polarity while you're doing it? What if you mess up with one of those two little wires when you do the connection? Anything can happen while we start doing things. How do we solve, how can we avoid anything bad to happen? Get the stuff already taken care of. Clip already on, wire already attached. That is the perfect definition of plug and play. So at that point, again, as I was saying before, either if we're looking at a puck light or if you're looking at a strip light, these wires are already connected. 79-inch cable. They pass in any little tiny little channel that you drill or in between cabinets, and you're ready to go. This is going to be the fastest, simplest, safest, problem-free installation you ever had with an LED product. Then we're going to a tunable white experience. The tunable white experience, tunable white is a term that we, well, this Italian manufacturer came up with about 5 years ago for a system of light that is able to change temperature. So the same puck light and the same strip light can be used in different temperatures, what we call measured in Kelvin, right? So warm white, natural white, cool white, 2700 Kelvin, 3000 Kelvin, 6000 Kelvin, 4000 Kelvin, okay? So these are all familiar terms for some of us. So at the base of the tunable white system, there is two very important reasons. One is a practical reason. So why do we have to carry, multiply by 3 amount of products? We have to carry the same puck light in warm white, the same puck light in neutral white, the same puck light in cool white, the same strip light in 3 other different temperatures. Wouldn't it be a lot easier for us to stock only one that then you will use in any application? And you want a warm white, you set it on warm, send it out. You want it on cool, set it on cool, move it. You want to change it, here's the remote, here's the app, here's your voice to change different temperatures, which brings me to the second most important reason behind the tunable white, which is really the core, is the fact that for the first time, we can offer our clients the possibility of living in an environment that has a lighting temperature that matches what they're doing, their activity. And just like we change clothes every day, we go to sleep with a pajama, we go to work with a suit, you know, we stay and go to the gym in sweatpants, okay? There's different clothing throughout the day. We need different lighting temperatures throughout the day. Just like what happens outside, the temperature is not always the same. So we wake up in the morning, we want to work. Of course, we're going to use a cool white tendent to the bluish spectrum. 5,000, 6,000 Kelvin, 4,000 will work just fine. That bluish light will keep us up, will keep us productive. Where do we see cool whites? We see cool white light in schools, in hospitals, in office buildings, in retails, okay? For that particular reason, you're all wired, you're productive. However, like all the lights that are tending to the bluish part of the spectrum is a stimulant. So after 8 hours of being with that temperature, I like being for 8 hours sipping coffee, okay? So what do? We adjust the temperature of the light and we make it warmer. Where do we find warm lights? Bars, pubs, restaurants, spas. Why? Because different than the cool white, the warm white relaxes us, relaxes our eyes, relaxes our mind. So now we can enjoy a better dinner together. We're talking about kitchens, right? Yes, we work, we study during the day in our kitchen, our living room, but then the family gets together. We have dinner, we put some music on. That bluish light that helped us through the day is really not the right temperature to use right now. So for the first time, they're able to go from a cool temperature into a warmer temperature and integrate the temperature of the light into their daily tasks. Guys, this is so important that you will see from this year on, every light on the new generations, every new product that will come up will probably come up with this particular skill to change different temperature. It will become a thing. It will not be an option anymore. In the next couple of things, we'll see this trend to consolidate and become a thing. You know, I don't see in a few years from now the need of purchasing a light that is only warm or only cool, when we understood how cool, you know, how easy would it be to match these temperatures to our daily. So that's why it was important. I wanted to spend an extra minute here because it's really a good look ahead to what's going to happen to these LEDs products. And then we go to one of the most important and interesting parts of this presentation. It's the silicon generation. So The very first silicone tape came into the United States back in 2018. It was the SEH4. This is the SEH4. The SEH4 is a tape that is enclosed, surrounded by silicone casing that gives it flexibility, that protects it from damages, and protects it from some water too. It's not waterproof, it's water resistant. So let's look at some of the main points of this tape. Well, the main one, the one that I bring up right away, is the fact that it's a one piece. It's all in one. So let's think about how you usually do a lighting application. One is linear. Okay, so you will need a heat sink or an aluminum profile. You'll need a diffuser. Not you see all those dots or all the dust and the debris goes into the light. Then you need end caps, because the cut is going to be rough. You want to close that. Then you will need the tape that goes in there. You'll need some kind of support clips. These are all SKUs that you guys are purchasing right now individually. Okay. Then you need the lead cable, the clip. So we're already at 7, 8 different parts, and we didn't even start with power supply and everything else. Right? So just to make a vertical or a horizontal linear, you're currently purchasing 6, 7, 8 different parts and pieces, and then you have to put them together. It takes another amount of money and time. What if this tape comes in one roll? It's pre-wired on both ends. All you need to install it is a 4 by 8 millimeters routing. You cut the tape at 1-inch intervals throughout its entire length. Of course, each roll comes in a different length. Cut it with a pair of scissors. A pair of scissors or a knife is all you need for this installation. Okay. Then you push it in to the groove with your own fingers. Grab the lead cable that is already attached at the end with the little clip. Click it into the power supply. You have just installed the coolest light on the market right now. The thinnest, only 4 millimeters. And the original, this was the very first silicone tape that came into the market. Every other one is a knockoff of this one right here. So look at the elegance coming out of these small 4 millimeters. Look how clean now that interior looks like. Look how flush. There is no more notching the shelves. There is no more offsetting hardware, because once you push the silicone tape in, it's completely flush with the application. So that's a lot of labor less. There is a lot of, you're going down from 8, potentially 10 different parts and pieces to 1, 2. Because all you need to do that installation, that application, is 1 roll of tape, 1 power supply. 2 SKUs in your cart. That's all you need. Okay, so this is the best part. This is some of the best reasons behind the silicone tape: the ease of installation, the fact there is only 1 piece, so you reduce drastically the amount of SKUs that you will have to stock or that you will have to work with. And then, of course, the look is it's really not close to any other product that we have seen before. That is an accent lighting. That is what will increase the value of your cabinet, which is equal saying increasing your sales, increasing your profit. Okay, because that's at the end what we all want. The SEH4 evolved into the second product part of the silicone family, which is the AT6. The AT6 is very similar in concept to the SEH4, which is a side emitting light. The AT6 is not as an accent anymore like the SEH4 was. It's more of a task lighting. You see it here. It could be under cabinet. Now, I don't know why those lights are usually on. So under cabinet light, toe kick light, under counter light. It could be easily go vertically if we have pantries. It can be recessed like the SEH4 that I showed you before. Instead of a 4 by 8 routing, here we will need a 6 by 6 routing. So for those that are also doing a little bit of closets, we can now do a back-to-back application using only 1 3/4 inch vertical, which we couldn't have done it before. So that part could be interesting. So we can recess mount the 86, but as you can see in the picture, there is also a 3M peel and stick adhesive on the back, and also some little clips that we give you in case you want to give it even more support. So the FlexiLED 86 right now is the fastest, easiest linear LED application on the market today. Because all you have to do, let's say that we want to do an under cabinet application in this picture. We get a roll of tape, cut it at length, peel it, stick it, click it into the power supply. If we have at least 3/4 inch reveal or some kind of valance underneath those cabinets, I don't even have to recess it. I can just stick it there, click it there. You will see the power supply is only 3/4 inch. So we can do the full plug and play installation of these lights right there underneath the cabinets within a couple of minutes. No electricians, no training, 2 SKUs to put together. Okay, so this is these are the products. This is the new generation that I was telling you about at the beginning. Okay, and if we keep going, we see that more design or more different look is added to this generation. We're bringing out the hole, which is the new concept of puck light. We will not see puck lights the way that we knew them before, because they went out of style. You were one of those telling me that, you know, they're not trendy anymore. We don't see puck lights selling as much. You know, now everybody likes the linear lights. They think is more contemporary, more modern. I agree with that. Everybody likes the silicone tape, okay, because it's modern, because it's trendy. So why shouldn't we make a puck light that looks like it was made with the silicone tape, with the linear light? And here's the hole. It's also called the hole because, as you can see, the biggest design detail of the hole is the fact that there is a hole in the middle of the light. It could be recess mounted, surface mounted, but again, what will increase the value of your cabinets is the fact that once you mount it, either recessed or surface, you're able to see the finish of your floating shelf, of your cabinets, of whatever part you are installing this with. No other products have that design, that look. And if you think about it, it matches exactly with the 86 or the silicone tapes that I just showed you. So now we can do a combo application. Let's think of a pantry or a wall cabinet, with or without glass door, where we can do a vertical application right now with our silicone tape. Okay, 1 tape, 2 parts, click, click, and 1 now hole maybe in the top. And the style will now match. Okay, super simple to install. The whole installation will take probably less than 5 minutes. There's nothing to put together. There's only 2 simple clicks. And of course, accessories like the subby. Remember the trends before, the requests of our clients of charging station, mobile device to recharge our gadgets. If I have to be honest with you, I probably have more USB chargers around my apartment than normal power outlets. I had to change most of them into USB because there's really all the gadgets that we have and we carry around, it's all USB. So how much would our client love to have some chargers on the side of an island, underneath your cabinets, inside of a cabinet? It can be recess mounted, it can be surface mounted or subby. It matches with the finishes of the other products. And again, at the end, there is a 79-inch cable already pre-wired, already with a little micro 24 attached. So a simple click into the power supply is how you will install the little subby. And now we can charge our phone and everything else everywhere we want. Convenience. Let's offer something new. Let's offer something that our clients would love to have in their kitchens, in their living room. Okay, look how cool it would be, maybe under a floating shelf next to a hole. Getting here to the end, just X driver, very important. So this is what makes a lot of the difference between our power supplies and others. So this that I have here, it's my X driver. The X driver is our power supply, transformer, driver, call it whatever you like. It all means the same. You know, it does transform, it does convert, it does power up the light. So you can call it, I like to call it power supply. Okay, it's really where the power comes from. The X driver is only 3/4 of an inch thick. That means, as I was saying before, if you have a 3/4 little reveal underneath your wall cabinets, you can simply screw this underneath your cabinets and it will be already invisible. Okay, there's always going to be 3/4 of an inch of space for you to hide this, because the biggest problem that we have with power supplies is, where am I going to put it to conceal it? Yeah, when they were this big, it was a problem. This right now, it shouldn't really be a problem. And it's also all-in-one power supply. Why? Because all we need really is one of the two little modules that they're internal. So they don't take any other space externally like some other competitors or some other lines have it out there in the market right now. Our modules go right inside of it and take no space. We have two different modules, two different brains that we can add to our X driver. One is a wireless module, the other one is the Wi-Fi module. After that, we simply click in our lighting products on the front. Okay, here you have all different ports. You have a small power supply, you might have little ports. The bigger you get, the more ports you'll have. We have 15 watts, 30 watts, 60 watts, and in a couple of weeks, we're also going to have on the shelves the 96 watts. Even if this is a 96 watts, guys, you see it's still 3/4 of an inch. Okay, maybe a little longer, but 96 watts. It's a lot of watts. So what can we do if we put in the wireless module or the Wi-Fi module? So if we put in the wireless module, that module that we just put into our power supply is nothing but a receiver. Okay, instead of being external, surrounded by wires like we have it today, it's wireless. So once that we click it in, the entire power supply becomes our receiver. Okay, so now we can use 1-zone remotes, 3-zone remotes, but what is really trendy today is the usage of wireless products. The last two, the IRWI, the PIRWI, they are the first wireless sensors on the market. How do they work? Well, they connect via radio frequencies with the receiver that we plugged in. And the first one, the black one, the infrared, has two functions. For example, it could be your on-off switch dimmer, function 1. You sync it to the power supply, wave on to turn on the lights, wave in front of it to turn them off, hold your hand to increase and decrease the brightness, and that we can put that underneath our cabinets, on the side of our vertical panel for the fridge, anywhere. It's wireless. We can pick any place where we want it. The second function of the same product, you can switch from one function to the other with a simple click on the back. It's now your door switch. Open the door, light goes on. Close the door, light goes off. Yeah, we already had those products before, but this is wireless, guys. Okay, it works with a watch battery that lasts for a couple of years. So all your installer will have to do after sync it to the power supply is slide it to the back of your wall cabinet, and that will now trigger the light on and off every time you open and you're closing. But the best part is that we can sync multiple of these sensors to only one power supply and vice versa. Let me give you an example. If we have 6 wall cabinets, we can slide 6 sensors behind each door after we sync them one by one into only one power supply. One power supply, 6 spotlights, all clicked into the same one. One module, 6 sensors, that's all you need. Once they're all synced into the same power supply, each door open and close will turn on and off the light. But it could also work backwards. Let's say that we have 4, 5, 6, even 7 power supplies in our kitchen. This is a big kitchen, and we want to use only one of these sensors to turn it all on or off. Simply, let's get only one sensor, sync it to all the different power supply with a little module, and now that will control them all without having to wire anything, without having to call the electrician, without having to daisy chain anything. There's 7 power supplies on 7 completely independent outlets, and they're all going to be grouped up under one button or one remote within seconds. That is the value that we're offering today. The other one, the little round one, is a proximity sensor, okay? As a motion sensor. Let's use it when we would just want to turn on the lights, simply walking, passing in front of it, okay? Maybe for a night light in the kitchen, toke, or under a vanity. Okay, we have those solutions. It requires you to use the same exact products that you would use normally. Just switch one sensor with the other. Everything else, power supply, module, lights, wiring, remains exactly the same. Imagine the possibilities that you could have right now. Imagine all the things that you can offer to your clients that you would have never been able to offer before. So of course, with the Wi-Fi module, we're the first one that can use it, operate our lights with a Wi-Fi app, which is not Bluetooth, okay? Bluetooth is a whole different scenario. Bluetooth is very limited in range. There's only one-on-one connection, so not the same ballgame. Wi-Fi has no distance limitation. Okay, I can control my lights in Alaska from Miami, and then Wi-Fi can have unlimited people controlling it at the same time compared to Bluetooth. There's only one-on-one. So now, just like everything else, we can use our phone to turn on and off different parts of the house, different parts of the kitchen. However, the most important part, once that we're on Wi-Fi, is the fact that we're linked automatically with either Alexa or Google Home. So whatever we would have done with an app, we can now do it with our voice. We can give the power supplies names, uppers, lowers, kitchen 1, kitchen 2, bar, living room, and just talk to Alexa. Alexa, turn on the kitchen. Okay. Alexa, turn on the living room. Okay. Alexa, brightness at 20%. If we're working on a tunable white, Alexa, give me a warm white in the kitchen. 6 o'clock. Let's relax a little bit more. Okay. And the light temperature will change. So this is the direction that we're taking, the organic direction that we're taking with these lights. Lights that they are extremely easy to install and to purchase. We see some closet applications here in case you guys are getting into some closet too. The gotcha is a great hanging rod with a motion sensor integrated. We have different, I'm going to go through quickly over this. The head is a great solution, not only for closet, but also for kitchens. That is actually a drawer. Okay, is a surface mount, little tiny light like that with an integrated sensor right there. So we simply slide it next to our drawer cabinet, next to our lift up cabinet, lift down, sliding door, in a corner cabinet next to a lazy Susan or a fly out moon. That light will turn on and off every time that we open and close that door. One product, all we need is that and a little power supply to click in. And that's what we need to now illuminate any cabinet that has a door that turns on and off. Those are the proximity sensor that I showed you before. So let's wrap this up. We are down to a selection of products that can be counted on the fingers of my hand. Okay, we can pick one puck light, which can be the whole or the atom, if you like, the old school puck light, old style. One of the 2 silicon tapes, either one or both of them, because they both have different applications. One power supply with the respective module and whatever you want to use to turn them on and off, sensor or a little button. That is it. So number 1, make your custom line. You decide what you would like to put in. make your own combination, okay? After you do that, one linear, one puck, select the power supply. Of course, we select the power supply based on how many wattage we have. If we always use a lot of wattage, 30, 60, control the module, how you want to, you want to have it wireless, you want to have it Wi-Fi, and at the end, the accessories. Pick whatever sensor or button or nothing if you want to use the Wi-Fi and the app, because I assume you already have a phone and you already have your Alexa. So that will actually save you some money, believe it or not, offering probably the latest of technology. And if this wasn't enough for you to, it's not easy enough, or I would say many of you don't have the time or don't really want to go through our catalog and find out all the parts and pieces. Let's remember, we have a lighting layout service, which is free, where the fastest turnaround is 24 to 48 hours. So if you don't want to get involved with lights, even if it's super easy, just tell us the products that you'd like to use, send us your drawings, and let us do all the work. Okay, we come back with it within 24 to 48 hours. As you can see here, we draw all the solutions here. There's a legend, so you see what we're talking about with the codes and everything else, all the wires. We calculate the watts, we calculate the extensions if you need any. And we create, okay, of course, the part list. You need one of these, two of these, three of those, four of those. At that point, you know exactly how much it's going to cost, you know exactly the parts that you need, and if you have a good wrap, you will also be able to put it in your cart on Richelieu.com. So you'll have it right there. Log in, go to your cart, Mrs. Smith Kitchen is right there. This is the total. Purchase now is all you have to do. Okay? So this is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was educational for you, because that is really what I was aiming at, is to really show you that there is a whole different universe of LED lights out there that we might didn't know about it, and using them not only will change drastically the way that you're doing business, but it will change drastically also the amount of profit that you could do with your products. Any questions?
Thank you, Damiano. It's Mike again. We did get a question about the presentations. Yes, we will be. This has been recorded, and we will distribute the slides and the video. One question, with the growth of outdoor kind of kitchens and bars and living spaces outdoors, and with that entertainment in mind, are these available in where you can choose colors? So kind of create a more interesting atmosphere outside?
No, because this manufactured domus line that we represent, that we distribute here, they are purely in cabinet and furniture. So for internal application, they rather stick to the core of what they do best, and without exploring too much of a commercial application that could be outdoor, it could be RGBs, it could be all these things. They are considered more as a commercial application. They're staying more into an internal, inside cabinets and furniture.
Sure. Another question is, where are you seeing this predominantly, with custom cabinet manufacturers or wider?
It's becoming wider by the day. We have, I can't really do names and think, but we have a good list of manufacturers that got on board with us. We're talking about 500-600 kitchens a month manufacturers that are integrating our system. So is at that level, but for the last 4 to 5 years, it was very common also on the retail part, on designers, on the dealers sometimes, end of the spectrum. So it is growing on both directions, really on both sides, if that makes sense, because it's of the awareness of these products. Okay, so they started maybe on one, but it's spreading all the way to the top of OEMs and all the way on the other side of the retail.
Got it. This is something I had heard Gary mention before, and I think you've kind of explained it as you went along, but this kind of accent or enhancement, excuse me, doesn't really require retooling or changing anything on the shop floor. Is that correct?
That is correct. As I said before, most of these products right now can be either recess mounted, but easily surface mounted as well. In the example of the 86, which is the second silicon tape that I showed you, with a minimum of 3/4 inch of a reveal, which is the majority of the cabinet that I've seen, unless you guys are doing purely European, where it's completely, flush with the bottom, but a minimum of 3/4 inch of a reveal will allow you to simply stick the 86 underneath your cabinet, peel it, cut it at length with a pair of scissors, peel it, stick it, click it into the power supply. That's really all it takes. There's no tools, and like I said before, it's the pure definition of plug and play. You're installing a product without any sort of training, without any sort of knowledge, without simply clicking a plastic clip into a power supply. So yes, absolutely.
All right, great. I don't think we have any more questions. I don't know if Damiano or if you or Gary want to have the last thought. And again, we will get the presentation out to everyone, and really appreciate the insight. This is pretty cool stuff.
Thank you.
Gary, you wanna wrap this up?
Yeah. Am I coming through? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yes, thank you, all of you, for viewing this. We appreciate the opportunity, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or to your local Richelieu rep, and we'll be glad to get you more information. So thank you all. Do appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Gary.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye now.